Karmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Hold your head high, don't let him steal your life. Karmelo gon' be just fine tonight. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Storm clouds hanging, people talking every day. Everybody got opinions, got something to say. But we praying for the truth wherever it may lead. Praying for the family and everybody's needs. Know we tapped in, we watching every move. Trying to stay together while the world keeps choosing sides to prove. Somebody hurting, somebody crying, that's the truth. So we asking God for wisdom while we're searching for the proof. Karmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Hold your head high, don't let him steal your life. Karmelo gon' be just fine tonight. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Stay strong, little bro, don't give up the fight. The Most High still working in the dark and in the light. Family standing with you, love standing too. Keep your faith in the storm till you make it through. When the pressure gets heavy and the nights get long, remember every trial ain't where you belong. Keep your eyes on them all, keep your heart on God. One step at a time, keep moving through it all. We ain't giving up, we ain't backing down. Love gonna lift us when we're feeling on the ground. Hands to the heavens, prayers in the sky. Trusting in the truth as the days go by. Karmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Family coming, faith coming to the strength of the Most High. Gonna carry you. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Karmelo, stay strong. Keep holding on.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so I want you all to give a big welcome to Mr. Morris Dwayne Turner. Now, this is the witness that we watched this video, okay, some weeks ago, and he saw the original footage that was shown at the school. Okay, so he's here to talk about what he knows about the case and some of the things that he and others have had to endure since this all started. Now, with that all being said, let's see who's in here, and thank you for the fire emojis in the chats, beloveds. Okay, we have Trisha, Lamar, Mr. Elevation, Queen C. Pressure. All right, Youngest Turnip is here. Bronze Flat Power God, 504 Nola, Dangerous, LL is here. All right, let's get it. Dangerous, Jago the Rogue. All right, Take Heed is here. Andrea, Greta. All right. It looks like LT or it's Xkia. I don't know if I said that right, but I hope I did. 6'3" Soldier is in the building. Okay, Tay J. All right, so let's get into a 57 Beige Fox. Truth Brown is here, and that song was by Truth Brown, so shout out to her. All right, Tulip, Cherokee, Cinedale, Shoshana, and Donna Marie. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm not going to say all of y'all because it's 2 minutes today. Y'all must have come to see Mr. Turner because you sure didn't come to see the Queen. Y'all need to sit down. I see all these unfamiliar names. Says, thank you, Queen, for keeping Karmelo's story in our face. You're welcome, beloved. Okay. Now, with that all being said, y'all know how we do it. We have to keep the lights going. So let me have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes, and then we'll get started.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she also sells beard oil. Okay, so with that all being said, let's just get right into it. Okay, so you like to be called Dwayne. Okay, great. Okay, so Dwayne, thank you for coming.
You're
All right,
welcome.
and
I thank you for the invite.
absolutely, beloved. And I have been trying to, but I didn't know, wasn't sure how to get in touch with you. So shout out to Sam for giving me your information. And he'll be here tomorrow. We're going to be doing a panel. Okay, so please tell us, what you saw in the video, or first, before we get to the video, tell us what was the temperature after this first happened in Frisco? Like, what was the community said? What was the chatter in the streets?
Well, a lot of the chatter in the streets were really a lot of the kids in the neighborhood. So the surrounding cities, which is Frisco, Little Elm, Prosper, the Colony, Plano, Carrollton. Those are the surrounding cities of Frisco. And a lot of it was that same day, within the hour that it happened. A lot of those kids were still
Mhm.
at school. And so a lot of them were actually sending out text messages and Snapchat videos and Instagram messages to their coaches, their friends, their family. And they were like, hey, I hope he learned to keep his hands to himself now in heaven. So they were referring to Austin. So a lot of the chatter of the kids were basically that sentiment that they were bullies and now they learned a lesson. So someone didn't run away from the bully. Someone stood up. That was kind of the message.
Mhm.
When it came to adults, a lot of people just did not know. And so they were hearing from their kids. They were catching it on later on the news, and they just heard of the incident at the stadium. And then people started finding out a little bit later about exactly what was going on. And when they heard the names Metcalf, and they said it was the twins, a lot of the parents began to talk and say, hey, those kids bullied my kids. That's the reason why we moved from Frisco. Or that's the reason why my kids are not going to Frisco ISD anymore because of those twins and their friends. So the sentiment was about them being bullies and that everybody was hoping and wishing that Karmelo was okay.
Wow. And this is so amazing that none of this stuff was entered into the trial. They didn't talk about their history of bullying. They didn't talk about any of the reports and their background as far as getting into trouble at school. I didn't hear anything about any of that during the trial, and that's really interesting. So now, how long was it after the incident to the point where they allowed you all to come to the school to see the footage? Did you hear me? Dwayne,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Hello?
I can barely hear you, beloved.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, so yes, I wanted to know how long after the incident occurred. Hold on, you guys. He may be having a little a signal problem. Okay, there he is. Okay.
Sorry about that. Someone called
No,
me
you're
and
good.
it took away my sound.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, so I was just wondering how long after the incident happened until you all were able to go to the school to see the footage?
It was, I started hearing from people who worked at the school district or work within the school district that there was
Mhm.
footage. We already knew that there should be footage. If we were the people who live in the area familiar with the stadium, knowing that there's cameras everywhere, we know that the kids usually film. And truth be told, we actually saw footage of the incident floating around on social media for about 3 days. So a lot of people saw footage from people's cameras, cell phone cameras, for about 3 days. So the second, third, and fourth of April of last year of 2025,
Mhm.
then all of a sudden it disappeared. So you couldn't see it anymore. And so this raw footage that these kids were showing on their TikToks and their Instagram and whatever else they were sharing it on, it just got scrubbed. And so at that point, maybe a week or two later, people started putting in FOIA requests to go see it. It was few of us that did that, and then that's when we were able to go and see it after that moment.
Okay. Okay. So now that footage has been tucked away, nobody will probably ever see it again, I guess. Um, I feel like if they knew that Carmelo was so in the wrong, they would have put that footage out there rather than scrubbing it. And then the police, I remember them saying, I saw a press conference or a news report where they said the police were threatening to arrest anyone that posted the footage.
That was false. However, that was a way to threaten people. So the
Mm-hmm.
police cannot arrest anyone for putting out public video that it's owned by Frisco ISD. So it was
No, no,
not
I'm talking the
evidence.
camera.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
what I'm
the
talking
camera
about.
footage. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I'm talking about. So technically, no one could be arrested for sharing video footage of a public incident. But that was a scare tactic by people who were paid and that
Mm-hmm.
were able to, disseminate misinformation and did it successfully throughout the process. But there was that message out there, and people
Mm-hmm.
did get scared. You had family members that made their kids erase stuff or hide stuff, and it's still some
Right.
footage out there, but people are scared because they did get threatened.
Right. Yeah. And also that's I meant to say the cell phone footage is more so what I was thinking about. But then they try to act like there was no cell phone footage. And you're not the first person. I actually heard somebody on TikTok say something about there was footage that got deleted. They
Yes,
actually
not
said that. I didn't.
it's not deleted. That's what they told us. But I know that some of the kids said that some of these people that said it was deleted, that they were actually showing it to other kids on their phones and their devices. And this was as recent as this year. So there is footage
Wow.
out there. It's just a moment that
Mm-hmm.
people have to get the guts to come forward and share their footage, because there's no
Right.
such thing as deleting footage on the phone anyway. Regardless of
Yeah,
whether
that's
you
what they was
delete it
loud.
a lot, they can actually retrieve it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what about some of the threats and things and the harassment that people like you and others have had to endure because you've been speaking out about this and because you've been saying what you saw on the original video?
Yeah, we a lot of people have been threatened. We know that the Anthony family had to move a few times because they were threatened. Their lives were threatened, different things of that nature. I've had mine threatened. I've received threats from any means that you could think about it, through social media, my text messages, my emails, my phone. People came to my house. My family and I had to move right after Thanksgiving last year, and we just got into a new place just a couple weeks ago. And so it's been a moment. Also, it was not just from people that was on the other side, if we want to say it that way. It was also
Mhm.
from some people that we were advocating with, that we found out they were here to basically sabotage Carmelo's case and being paid to do so. So we found that out through court cases and different things of that nature, that these individuals were trying to get people arrested and did have people arrested, people going to jail and everything else. They were working the whole time with the other side, being Sarah Fields, Jeff Metcalf, and those people are still working to try to sabotage his appeal, yet saying that they're
Wow.
supporting Carmelo Anthony.
Just low down. Sounds like that Charleston White BS. So these people are just infiltrating like fake allies.
Correct. And we do. I'm not saying anything that I don't have receipts for.
Right.
There's one individual that called herself the main advocate for Carmelo Anthony. She actually was on the affidavit that got me arrested to get me to shut up and be quiet and not get the family information that could have gotten his case dismissed. And I found out through the courts that actually told me, hey, this person is the one that really got this situation going, not these other people. And come to find out, she used someone that is friends and close to Jeff Metcalf. He's a realtor as well, just like Jeff was. And he actually helped her get the affidavit and get the warrant on me. And this person is actually in a photo with Jeff Metcalf at some kind of fundraising party. And there's 4 gentlemen and a lady there where people said that they think Judge Roach is on that picture. That guy, Wesley Farrell, is on that picture as well. And so that individual has ties to Jeff Metcalf, Sarah Fields, the MAGA Republican Party of North Texas. But yet that person says that they're the main advocate for Carmelo and have been the source of a lot of misinformation, still is giving misinformation right today, I just heard of, and has been a thorn in their family's flesh since the beginning of this thing. And I'll say the name if you want me to. I don't know if you want me to or not, but I can definitely. Yeah, her name is Tiffany McAdoo Billions. She goes by Tiffany Billions, but her real name is Tiffany McAdoo. And I have the receipts, so I'll send them to you, so that way you can always post them, so people will know that this is factual information and not just conjecture. But
You did send me that, not to cut you off, but you sent me that,
yeah.
and I actually showed it the day you sent it to me and
Oh,
explained
okay.
to everybody what you had said, and I showed them the affidavit and all of that and the
Yeah.
picture.
And I just disposed of that case today, so I can move forward to file lawsuits against her, the Metcalfs, and other people that I need to file lawsuits against for that conspiracy of them not only trying to get rid of me to help the Anthonys, but there was other people they did as well. One guy, they got locked up twice, and he's on his way to TDCJ right now, and that's the Texas Department of Criminal Justice right now. And Tiffany Billions and Sarah Fields worked together to get that man locked up twice. And so we watched that with our own eyes. And so that's not something that we're just making it up. And he told me himself, which we were telling him to stay away, but he used to be one of her Tiffany Billions disruptors. So he went back up there just with that moment, and she set the man up and got him locked up. And so it's those type of individuals that have really hurt this case with Carmelo, at the same time taking money from people, because she was taking money directly from people in the name of the family, and paying her own bills, living off of it, just being disruptive in the whole process, causing problems, causing us not to be able to see the actual court proceedings in the court, because she went before Judge Roach and said that one of the guys that was on the other side, that he was trying to threaten her, which wasn't even true, but she did it. And Judge Roach took all the cameras out of the room because of what she said. And so these are the type of people that the Anthony family had to deal with, that was close to them, giving them bad information. And that's part of the reason why he is convicted today.
Right. Not trusting the right people. And listen,
Correct.
says Nick at Night was saying Sarah was trying to get her caught up. Yes, she was lying on Nick
Correct.
at Night, allegedly. Okay.
Correct. And I'm gonna tell you on Nick at Night's behalf, because I don't really know her. I've seen her and I've watched her during this whole year in some process. But what I do know is what I see from her. And I know she was at the court. I know she did the things she needed to do. I have watched myself from afar of not only Sarah Fields, but also Tiffany Billions right now to this day is talking down on Nick at Night, and also trying to get her caught up because they don't like the coverage and what she's been doing. Now, Nick at Night, people sent her money for the Anthony family, and she made sure that it got to the Anthony family every dime. And that's what she did as a person of integrity. And so Tiffany and Sarah didn't like that, because they both worked together. and they're tied together. And so they both are attacking this woman when she just really stepped up and just because of her compassion, she's helping out this family and helping out Karmelo. And so those type of things I don't like. And I've seen it with my own eyes. So if they're saying that, trust me, it happened because I watched it happen. And I know from just a phone call today, Tiffany Billions was actually talking about Nick at Night just yesterday and today and throwing salt on her name because Dominique Alexander actually confirmed that Nick at Night actually was doing everything she said she was doing, and that the family confirmed that she did everything that she said she did. And Tiffany Billions was upset with that. So yes, Sarah Fields, Tiffany McAdoo Billions, they are trying to take down anyone that stands up for this family, not only Nick at Night, but also John Effects. He was covering this case as well. Tiffany Billions came after him because the family spoke out with him as well directly. She went after him and did all kind of things to that man on the live. So it's just those type of things that not only the family, but advocates of the family had to deal with. And all along, Tiffany Billions was telling the family not to speak to people like myself and a few other people. And as Drew Anthony said on his interview, he said he wished he would have went rogue and spoke to those people that they were telling him not to, because he knows now that his son wouldn't even be in prison if they would have listened to the things that we were saying in the beginning last year. Yeah.
Right. Now, I went on Tiffany Billions' page the other day after me and you spoke, and she has all the stuff on there. I mean, if I didn't know any better, you would swear that she was going hard in the paint for Karmelo.
Yeah, because most of that stuff comes from myself. It comes from this lady named Yoli. It comes from a few people that we did FOIA requests, and we were getting the information because, again, we were all working together to advocate for Karmelo. And Tiffany Billions kind of worked herself into the fray of what we were doing and kind of took over, and we all just kind of followed. And to our behest and later on defeat, we found out that she was fraudulent. And so we started calling her out. And by that time, she has loyal zombies that follow her. And I call them that because they can't think for themselves. And they just follow her blindly, knowing that this woman has done all that she's done, because we talked to them directly and they know she's done what she's done. But they stick there because they feel it's for the betterment of Karmelo. And it's not. Karmelo would not be in prison right now if Tiffany had not blocked myself and others from getting on the phone with Drew Anthony and Kayla and everybody else and firing Mike Howard and putting in the motions to get this case dismissed back in August. We were trying to do that. She blocked it, and she went to Drew Anthony telling him about our background and why he wasn't supposed to talk to us, and just blocking that moment. Tiffany Billions did this. And so this is the person. She was. And so this is the person that feels and says and proclaims she's the main advocate. And I'm gonna be honest, she don't even talk to the family like that. But they do allow conversations with her because they think that she is the person that was giving all this information and behind all the raising of money on the Give, Send, Go. And she wasn't. She didn't even give that much. It was really all of us giving. And she was just taking over. You know, it was a lady named Unique that started the Give, Send, Go. I think they were doing like $5 Sundays. And then another lady named Diamond said, let's do $6 because that's Karmelo's jersey. And then Tiffany took it over and said, I'm going to do it. And she started doing Gifts and Goes on Sundays. And so that's what it became. And so it's a moment of a takeover spirit to defame this family using other people. And she's helping. And that's basically what this is. And so it's time that she be called out. It's time that other people be called out that hurt this family so they can get away from this family. And that family can work on trying to get Karmelo his justice to get out and move on with his life. But as long as she's around, it's always going to be a lot of people being hurt. A lot of people's information get put out because she is one of the number one doxers on TikTok and Facebook. She actually put the lady's information out on Facebook, had the woman's VIN numbers out on her cars and her son's cars and all their names and social security numbers that woman had, and doxed those people like that. But then she said they were chasing her, and they were not. She doxed them and then ran from those people. So it's people like that we have to call out, and we have to be serious about that. And it has nothing to do with backgrounds and nothing like that. It just has to do with what she's doing right now. And what she's doing right now is harming the community. and that's the community at large. And so we have to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so someone had a question. They said they were asking if the footage that was released recently, if that's the same footage that you saw at the school.
No, any footage that's been released from Collin County and the courthouse is only the footage that the prosecution had that they edited. That's the first one we got. And the one that people are saying they're downloading off of Collin County website, that is only evidence. That's evidence footage that they're showing. It is from some of the same cameras that we saw from Frisco ISD, but they have not released any footage from Frisco ISD. We're still waiting from an opinion from the AG's office, from Attorney General Ken Paxton, and we'll find out. But they should be releasing that to us, because I have a FOIA request from way back last year to get the actual footage. Then I put in another FOIA request to see the footage. So we're still waiting on that stuff to be released to us. But no, that is not the exact same footage, but it is part of the footage and from the footage from the original video.
Okay. Now, so tell us exactly what you saw on the original footage, please.
On the original footage, you can clearly see the boys walk up. And when I say the boys, I'm talking about Hunter, Austin, and their friends. You can clearly see them walk up with a purpose to go towards Karmelo from coming where they were coming from. And what Hunter said is that they were coming from the middle school. So we're just going to give him his word that that's where they're coming from. But you can see that they came with a purpose. So that means someone either called them, text them, whatever it was. And when they came up, one veered off to go toward the coaches, one or two of them, you kind of see, but we know for sure one. And they veered off to go toward the coaches. The others went up toward the stands where Karmelo was sitting already. And they made a beeline straight up to him. And as you heard myself and others say, is that they kind of surrounded him in a U shape or L shape is what the prosecution said. And so, because I'm just going to morph it all together because it's just evidentiary fact now. And so once they did that, they never sat down. You could see one immediately go in front of Karmelo. You could see the others kind of around Karmelo. And from what I saw then, I knew that they immediately started aggressing up on him. You can see that. You can see that they actually put him in a chokehold. You can see all those things. You can see him trying to get away. And what we saw trying to get away on the video is what testimony was. They said Austin actually picked him up on a football move and moved him. So from the doctor video that they showed from the court, you can technically see Austin pick him up and bring him toward him and throw him back. And when he threw him back, you could see where they were hitting him. And then Karmelo came out. And so that's what we saw in the original footage. We saw him come out the back. He looked right. He went left. He got to the bottom, fell down. And I told people that they were still fighting up underneath the canopy when he came down and fell down. And then once he fell down, that's when they came after him. But looking at the footage that they showed from the court, you can see that Austin actually came up. And I said that before, too, that Austin tried to chase him. And then he kind of went back down and he fell down. What we could not see, but what we see now is that Austin went to follow him. Austin came back down and they start punching Austin. And you can see them hitting Austin. And then Austin gets pushed down and Austin kicks the little girl in the yellow poncho. And she falls down. And and the other guy fell down. And then you see the other little white kid, you see him run to the trash can and come back. And then later on, you see another kid comes to the trash can. And after Karmelo and the coach walks up and the coach is explaining to him that if Austin is unalive, then, his life is over forever. And while they were doing that whole thing, because the coach brought him to Austin's body to look at, and he took him on past that, you can see the other guy reach in the trash can, get whatever it is out that the other guy threw in, put it in his pocket. And he stands there and he walks real fast and then he runs away. So all those things I saw in the video, but you can't make it out because there's so many things going on. And so you're watching this video and you're trying to just watch Karmelo, see what's going on. And so I actually had another PIR request to go in and see it again because I thought I seen Jeff Metcalf before he said he got there. And so I was going back to see if I seen Jeff, if I seen Megan, and where the adults were and all of that, but they shut it off before I can go back and see it again. But on the original footage, all the things that I saw showed and indicated that it was a plan, that they knew what they were going to do, and they knew they were coming after Karmelo because from the dispatch calls, it said they were looking for a suspect from Emerson. And they said they found the suspect from Emerson, and the SRO officer that actually arrested Karmelo and put him in the car, he asked him the first thing he said, "You're from Emerson, right?" And Karmelo said, "No, I'm from Centennial." And so they all thought he was from Emerson because the twins that morning before all this event or all this stuff happened were messing with a young lady that was from Emerson High School. And everybody stopped them. And that's the reason why Jeff Metcalf said that the middle school coach called him, because the middle school coach called him about the boys messing with this young girl from Emerson. And so that's where all this moment came from. So they were mad at, the twins were mad at Karmelo because him and probably some of the other boys stopped them from messing with the girl at Emerson. Then the other guys that were with him, like EP, which is Edwin, that was supposed to have been his friend, they were all jealous of him in some form or fashion. And so at that moment, it was a combination of all those things. We're going to get you now. And so they intended to really do some harm to Karmelo that day because they had the coaches distracted. They had him surrounded and protected so no one could see what was happening. And all the kids there, even the young man in the white T-shirt, he just kept kind of looking in and putting his clothes on while he was watching them, while they had him in a chokehold and beating them up. And so it was a planned event and no one cared about Karmelo that day. And you even see later, after the fact, when all the kids are going to the buses, you can see a photo footage or a video footage of Edwin Parra, whatever his name is, EP. You can see him actually taking his clothes off and balling them up and walking to follow the kids back to the bus. And so this was a concerted effort of getting rid of evidence. There was something else happened because all the kids said from that moment that they jumped Karmelo, and they said that they did it and that it wasn't Karmelo that did what they say he did. So all the kids already knew that from last year. But now we're seeing that it could have been a moment to where these guys took Austin out and they hid the actual evidence because they never brought the actual weapon into the courtroom. The guy that testified said he didn't have no gloves and he didn't want to touch it, so he brought a replica. They never talked about any DNA. They never talked about any fingerprints, and they never ever said that it was Karmelo's in the court. And so that means that one of those other guys are probably the one that actually punctured Austin. And it also says because of what they said happened, because if you listen to the extended 911 call, you can hear the machine telling them how to do CPR, and they got him back several times. And they testified in the court that he was purple because of loss of the fluids, but they gave him some more and he was okay. And you could tell that because it took them a while to take him in the ambulance. That means they were working on him for a cardiac issue, not for a loss of fluid issue. And he got to the hospital. He was alive. He crashed at the hospital, and that's where he passed away at 10:53 a.m. I think it was, is when they called him.
Wow. Okay, Todd French says, I believe Eddie set him up. No one knew Melo was under the tent until he sat down with Eddie. Eddie made that phone call before he invited Melo. # setup. I mean, that seems like it's very plausible. Thank you, beloved, for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. That's what it kind of sounds like. So you're saying, now, when you told me that, I was on here trying to tell them, and I think I said Evansville School, but it was Emerson. Okay,
yes,
so this
Emerson.
girl... Okay, so now this girl that they were supposedly over there bothering, I was just thinking last night that it seems like they bullied girls a lot because of what the cheerleaders said when they sent letters to the coach, and then the girl from Emerson. And I wonder if they learned that from their nefarious father, Jeff Metcalf, because allegedly he was abusive to the mother. So I said, I wonder if that's where they got that from.
Correct. And here's the thing. Megan Metcalf, which is their mom, she went on to a podcast just here recently, a few days ago, onto Bay Boys Live on TikTok. And they were talking about that very thing. They were talking about the young girls that sent in the emails from the Cane's events, the Raising Cane event over in Frisco. And she confirmed that it happened. She confirmed that it was true. She said Hunter has anger issues and he act like that sometime, but he's a good kid overall. So she was actually talking about it and confirmed it. Listen, people in the area know that these boys have been bullies since the 4th grade. We also know, and I'm going to say allegedly, that Megan ran away many a times with her boys to get away from Jeff Metcalf. We know that Austin Metcalf tore Jeff Metcalf's rotator cuff on his shoulder. We know that because Jeff said it himself on his Beyonce World Tour on this internet space on TikTok for 18 hours. He said it himself. And so since he said
Beyonce World Tour,
it's Beyonce World Tour on Beyonce's World Internet via TikTok, he did that. And so these are their words, not mine, that this is what happened. So and then also we have to remember at the time of this situation, Hunter stayed with Jeff, Austin stayed with Megan because Austin couldn't stay in the same house with Jeff. Yes, that's their living arrangements. That's how they live.
wow.
And so so the thing is that they were from a very abusive household. Jeff and Megan got divorced somewhere in 2020 something, and it was very volatile. We had the records. I don't know where they went. We went to go look them up again so we could see exactly what the divorce decree said. And guess what? Jeff said that Greg Willis, DA Greg Willis, was his DA. So guess what they did? They sealed the records. And so now you can't even see it on Collin County website anymore. Now we do have the actual records, the registry of records. We have a copy of that, but you can't see the details because they scrubbed the whole thing. But guess what? We do have his ex-wife's divorce when he divorced her in 1999. So we could actually go ask her how abusive he was, because he is a very volatile dude. He was very abusive to people in the real estate industry. And so he bullied a lot of different real estate agents in the DFW area. And so it's just the attitude and the mantra that Jeff has taught these twins, how to be very abusive toward women, how to be very entitled and have the caucasity that they have the right to move somebody and tell somebody to go somewhere that they're not at. And so this is a learned behavior from their dad. And Megan Metcalf allowed it because she was excusing it just the other day, just this week. She was on Bay Boys Live, and people can go look it up, or they probably heard it. She was on there speaking, and she was excusing Hunter's behavior at threatening girls and women, young women, and telling Austin told them that his hands were, and I don't know if I can say this because this is YouTube, but his hands go both ways.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, right.
Yeah, because he'll slap anybody is what he said. And so this is the attitude of those twins at 17 years old, at 16 and 17, because that was the attitude of their dad.
Wow. And so this is all crazy. Now, with that all being said, they didn't bring in the knife as evidence. That was just so amazing to me that didn't come in. Now, did Mike Howard even argue about that they didn't even bring in the real evidence?
No, I believe that Mike Howard in the beginning, because he did an excellent job at the bond hearing to get the bail reduced, I believe that he started to work on this case. And I know for a fact he had a meeting at Collin County Courthouse with Greg Willis, with DA Greg Willis. And after that, Mike Howard started moving different. He didn't do any pre-trial motions to try to get this case dismissed. He didn't do anything but subpoenas. That's all he did. And some of those subpoenas wasn't even answered. He didn't even care for them to be answered. And I think that he understood that he didn't care what it was that he did. These people were going to convict Karmelo. And that's exactly what I told everybody. And I was trying to get to the family in September of last year, all the way until February of this year, that if Karmelo made it to trial, they were going to get him 30 years. And I knew that because I knew that the fix was in. And I think that Mike Howard knew that as well. That's why he brought Toby Shook on. And they just didn't do anything. They didn't have Karmelo testify. They didn't object to but just a couple of things. They didn't do anything. But the things he did object to, I will say this, were things that he needed to object to make sure that Karmelo had an appeal. He did not have Karmelo testify, which is a good thing, because his words can't be used against him upon appeal. He did not bring any of the evidence into play that would counteract the negligence of the prosecution. So it will not affect Karmelo on appeal. So I think that he knew that he could not do nothing, but what he did do is he stayed silent, stayed out the way. He took his money, and he'll take his lumps later on, because he know he was wrong for that. Because you're still supposed to, as an attorney, stand up, and if you got to get out there on the court steps and say these people are railroading this young man, they have the fix in because this is what they told me. You just got to lose your license that day for the betterment of your client. He did not do that, but what he did do, he helped out the appellate attorneys by not sabotaging the case in that respect. But he did sabotage Karmelo because he knew it was nothing he could do, because they picked the right jury. They had the right folks in there. The judge was in it. The judge was in on it. The DA was in on it. So at the end of the day, he knew that man was going to get convicted.
And wasn't that so bold of Greg Willis to ask each of the teenagers who testified if it was murder or self-defense? Like that's what you ask a legal an expert witness. But
it's not.
He did that.
Yeah, it wasn't even supposed to be asked to them, and it's supposed to have been objected to by Greg Willis. I mean, DA by Mike Howard or Toby Shook. Either one of them. Right. Either one of them should have argued that point, that this is not in their scope. They don't have that professionalism, and they don't have the experience in life to even make that call or a judgment call. So he never did. That's why I know that he was scared or something. They threatened him, or he just didn't care because he was getting paid anyway, and he was going to probably try to retire and go on the chitlin circuit and talk to Fox News all the time and make money. But at any rate, it was a moment to where they knew that this was done. And that's what I knew. I'm not going to lie to you. I knew it back in September, and I've been trying my best to talk to the family. I reached out to them on all social medias and even talked about it on my lives. But Tiffany McAdoo Billions actually blocked the family from even talking to me. And even when they heard what I said, she was trying her best to defame me and keep me out. But at the same time, she was still using my information. She was still asking me for money, still acting like that I'm her best friend, because I'm the one that validated what she said she saw on the video, because no one believed her. And people was like, this is what Tiffany said she saw. And I was like, well, if that's what she said, then that's what she saw, because that's on the video. And come to find out, I'm just going to be honest with you. The only part that she saw is the video that I posted on my Instagram and on my TikTok, which is 2 minutes long. That is from her. It says Glam Goddess on it. That is her video that she actually recorded, allegedly, with her meta glasses, and she got kicked out. So Tiffany Billions didn't even see the whole video. And I have video proof to show that on TikTok, because when people were talking about it early on, she corrected people and said, no, only Austin approached him, no one else, only Austin. And this is the woman that says now that everybody jumped him and all this stuff. But in the beginning, she corrected people who saw the video and told them, no, only Austin approached him, only Austin laid hands on her. That tells you she did not see the video.
Wow.
But she lied and said she did.
Right. No, so let me ask you this. Did you find out that she was a double agent, or that she was working for the other side, after you got the paperwork with her name in it?
Correct. Basically, what happened is that she was telling me, she first told me that she was going to bail me out, that her and the disruptor was going to bail me out. That was a lie. So my family had to do it. Only 2 people from the moment helped out. 2 ladies. One lady gave $100, the other one gave $50, and the rest of it came from myself and my family. And so, but she told Drew Anthony that she bailed me out. That's how I got out. But she told us, and when I say us, all the people advocating and myself, that Sarah Fields, that the Metcalfs, that this lady named Dallas lady on TikTok, that they were the ones that actually got me in trouble. Come to find out, yes, they were calling and they were asking questions, but they were not the ones. I was actually advocating on another case and going out to a whole different county and getting information on that case. And the lady pulled me to the side and say, hey, you need to call this person at Denton County. And so when I called them, they would like you to get here immediately. And so when I get there, they pull me in this room and they said, "Hey, we heard you talking, but this is not the people that did something to you." They slid me a piece of paper with names on it and said, "These are the people that's on your paperwork. These are the people that's on your case." And so I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute, these are folks I advocate with. And they were like, yeah. And they were like, you'll get the paperwork soon, but these are the people that's that. And as I went from September, I tried to deal with it on the back end. And I had people start calling Tiffany and asking her, "Hey, are you the one set up Dwayne?" "Oh, no, that's my friend. I wouldn't do nothing to him." But once she found out I had the proof, she got up on her space and she started talking bad about me. First, it took her about 2 weeks because she had to build up the confidence. But then she started talking about King. She started talking about King Cass. And in that same live, she started talking about me, saying that she had blocked me back in last year, June. The family said that I wasn't supposed to be around and all this stuff. And all this time, I had been all in the Zooms and everything until January of last year when I stepped down myself because I got indicted on the case that she set me up for. And so all those things, and now she was saying that, and people were in the comments like, "Wait, he was just in your live last night," which I was. And she was like, "Oh, no, that was a backup page." No, it was my main page before they got them all banned. And so now people were kind of seeing that, wait a minute, this woman is just bold-faced lying. And I had been in Zooms. And so what I did, I just went ahead and posted the receipts. I didn't want to argue with her. I'm going to go back and forth with her. But here's the text messages. Here are the Zoom calls. Here is this. And she got mad. And so people started calling me, asked me why. We're trying to figure it out on the back end, what we need to do to correct it. And I said, "Hey, you apologize and you stepped down from advocating for this family because you're a fraud." That was my moment. She didn't like that. So that next Tuesday, they had a Zoom call that Monday. And next Tuesday, she got up and I was all kind of everything. I was the devil. I got on, I suppose they got on TikTok to advocate for people so I can get next to their kids. I'm talking about this woman went in. And so after that, I just posted receipts again. She was saying I didn't talk to the families that we were advocating for, that she got their numbers and they said they ain't never met me before. So I just posted a video of them on my podcast. I posted the text messages after I asked them if I could of us communicating. And so now the receipts are there, but these zombies kept on following her. Some people stopped, but they kept on following her. And so it was a moment to where we are now going back and forth. And so I just continue to post the receipts. So now we are where we are. And now people know you still have people over there following her, knowing that she did all this against this family. And you still have people blindly over there looking at her and listening to her and still giving her money in the name of the Anthony family when nobody should be giving no money to nobody because they haven't put up anything to receive money yet.
Right. Now, they said that Sarah Fields was collecting money also and then sitting there trying to play the victim, acting as though people were threatening her at the courthouse and, all of this kind of stuff. And nobody was harassing her, trying to act like Carmelo's supporters, were out to get her. And nobody was even thinking about her.
Nobody. And I can tell you what Sarah and her leprechaun attorney, CJ Grisham, was doing. They were too busy on X threatening me, sending me death, sending me unaliving threats, sending me all that kind of stuff to where I had to actually file. I was in Utah at the time, so I had to actually call the state troopers in Utah. They sent out a county sheriff. I had to do a report. I had to file it with the FBI. All those things. I had to threaten to give them intent to sue, which I am going to sue them. And I'm going to file charges as well and against them. I was just waiting to get all this over with because they threatened my life, talking about they had a box of shells to cure me and all that kind of stuff, that they'll show a noose that they're going to hang me from a tree on. All those type of things. This is what Sarah Fields, CJ Grisham, and their followers did. Tiffany actually did a drive-by and cussed me out at the courthouse during the Carmelo Anthony trial. Yes, she did. She did a drive-by. I got witnesses. They were sitting there with me. Someone wanted to get her. She just did it so quick they couldn't get at her. And so this is she did a drive-by with that crack windshield on her Jeep. She did that. And so after that, then she ran because I spoke on it on a live. And so that is the type of people that we're dealing with. And it's been a moment. So Sarah Fields is just a person that wants to get notoriety, just like Jeff Metcalf. They go out there with all that conjecture, talking about what people are doing to them. Nobody cared nothing about them. Nobody calling Sarah.
Right.
She calling the popo on herself and having them come to her house, then say somebody else did it.
Right.
Her
Then
and
she got
Tiffany work
quiet.
together. Yeah, they point the finger at each other while all alone they working together. This is the crazy part that we're really dealing with this situation, that people are that deranged in their mind to where they think of these type of things. It's crazy. And we're just trying to make sure that Karmelo was free, but she was grifting because she started out with these run over shoes. I'm going to tell you that last year, people went to the courthouse with her and saw her with these run over shoes. Now, all of a sudden, I see her the day after with Carmelo Anthony. I go up there to the courthouse and she didn't see me coming because I was in my truck and not my hoopty. And I go out there, she got these brand new pumps on and stand out there tall, her and T Sturdy and Chalk the Mama doing and King Cass doing the interview with the dude that they bugged had to death to do the interview with. And all of a sudden, now she's looking like an actual human being. And it's like, what happened? Where you've been spending all the money that these folks sent to you? And so you can tell the come up. You can tell the come up. And I've seen it and I've witnessed it. And so I know that she's been spending all that money.
Ooh, this is all crazy. Now hold on.
Yeah.
Nisa says, if they don't, I guess take Carmelo or make Carmelo free, we should go get him.
Well, he's gonna come out, and I feel you. I feel you on that. But he's gonna be okay. Yeah, he's gonna be okay. Right now, he's good where he's at. Even, and that's another thing. Even the day after he got convicted, he was in the county jail for a few hours because he wasn't there that long. Wasn't he 24 hours? And we were able to make sure he was okay and doing okay. We were putting money on his books, and all of a sudden, we checked. He was no longer on the commissary app for Collin County Jail. And so once we started checking, they had actually moved him in less than 24 hours to go to TCJ. They had him going to Bird Unit, which a Metcalf is the warden. And allegedly, this is one of the Metcalf's cousins. And so we got on the phone, myself and a few others. We started making phone calls. I called Dominique Alexander, and I appreciate him. He got on the phone with one of the senators in Texas, and they actually worked along with us. And we were able to get him to PAC Unit where he's at now. And when that bus or that van got to Bird Unit, those individuals were looking for Carmelo. And I'm going to tell you what the crazy part is. During this time where Carmelo was being transported, Jeff Metcalf was doing an actual interview. And what he said during the interview, he was telling the interviewer that, hey, there's street justice, there's karma justice, there's all kind of justice. And he said, just know we're going to get justice very soon. Now, he's saying this while he knows that Carmelo is being transferred over to Bird Unit, where his cousin is getting ready to set Carmelo up because they intended to take him out. They intended to end Carmelo that day so they wouldn't have anything to worry about. But guess what? The Most High always has a ram in the bush. And that ram in the bush was myself and about 5 other people, plus Dominique Alexander. And we made sure that he was safe. And that is advocating. Not all this other drama that these folk got going on.
Right. We're going to say allegedly because I absolutely think that's what they were going to do. But let me say,
allegedly.
You know what's interesting? By the fact that he said he was talking about all these different kinds of justices, but the trial, it was over. He'd already been sentenced. So that should have been the justice right there. So that's how you know he had to be talking about something other than that.
Correct. And that's what the important part was. They got what they wanted. You got 35 years of Carmelo's life for what you know your kids did. You got what you want. So what justice do you need? And so it's a moment to where they were wanting to, and it hurt all of them. I saw him spiraling that next day. I saw Tiffany Billion spiraling the next day. I saw Sarah Fields spiraling the next day when they found out, because Fox News is the one that reported it publicly, that he was at PAC Unit. They showed his, and the first time in history I've seen that you actually get the ID photo from TDCJ, from Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Fox News obtained it and shared it on their newscast at 5 p.m. that day and said, hey, Carmelo is here. And they were hot. I know for a fact that Tiffany was mad, Sarah was mad, the Metcalfs was mad because they all thought Carmelo wasn't going to be here no more. And at that point, they secret is safe and they can just go out there and act like they really did something and he can't tell his story. But know what? That ain't about to happen. Not on our watch. It ain't about to happen. So Carmelo is good. He's safe. They are watching out for him, and he's going to be just fine. And when this appeal is done and he's home, he'll be able to finally tell his story about what happened that day. And hopefully Hunter, uh, Edwin Para, and all those other kids, because it's about a good 12 or 13 of them that participated. Jeff Metcalf, Megan Metcalf, Tiffany Tiffany Lynn McAdoo Billions, Sarah Fields, and everybody else that has something to do with this, that all of them can be locked up and they can taste what jail is about this young man's life.
And that nefarious judge, too. Now, hold on for 1 second, please. Nisa, thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, Scorched Earth says, Dominic said he saw the ISD video and Karmelo wasn't jumped, but his name wasn't on the list. Also, is it possible that Karmelo picked up the knife? Yes, it is possible. It is possible, but I think there may have been more than one. But so when you say Dominic, are you talking about Dominic Alexander, beloved? And thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. So
yeah, I think that she's talking about Dominique Alexander, and let's give context to that. Dominique was asked a question and during that interview, and what he was doing is speaking to his recount of what he saw when he saw the video. You got to remember, he's a spokesperson, so he was able to see the footage. And so him seeing the footage from what he said he saw that day, he can't say that he saw him getting jumped. He saw a lot of movement. He saw a lot of things going on, but he couldn't make out who was who. And that's basically what he was saying, is that he didn't see that moment. They relied a lot on myself and other people who did see a little bit more than they saw, that was giving them the information they got. And then plus you better believe he heard from Karmelo. He just didn't repeat it. So he knows what happened firsthand from him, but what he saw in the video from looking at the video, and not only him, you have other people that put FOIA requests in that tell you almost the same thing. They saw body movement. They saw those type of things, but they can't just tell you that I saw ABC jump CDE. They just can't tell you that because they didn't see it. And that's what he was speaking to. And then on the second half, there's always a plausibility in everything. But I'm telling you, from what we see on the doctor video that they just put out, you can tell that Karmelo didn't have time to do too much of nothing, because they were on his behind as soon as they walked in there.
Right. Okay, now with that being said, someone wants to know. Tanya says, my first time with Super Sicker. Queen, could you ask Dwayne if he saw the video of the white elderly woman who said Melo did not do it and that Austin fell on him? What's his opinion on this? You, Queen, I appreciate it. And thank you. They're saying thank you to you. Well, thank you, beloved, for your question, and also for your kind words, your contribution. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. So, yes, did you see that woman who said on video that she saw it, and she said that she has always said that he was innocent because she said to her it looked like Austin fell on the knife or the tool?
Most definitely. She actually sat with us about 3 days during the trial outside. She was inside. She said she couldn't take no more, so she came outside, and she actually came back for 3 days in a row and sat with us outside the canopies. And so we got a chance to talk. And yes, in the courtroom, from what they seen in the courtroom, looking at the spliced up footage they saw, you can tell from the video that y'all seen from the courtroom. That's the full video that they had in the court that the prosecution had as evidence. You can tell that there was a lot going on. And as I said earlier, Austin got beat up just like Karmelo by his own people and got pushed. And so what she's saying is that she believes that when he got pushed and he flew, that's when he fell on the knife. And so, and that's what she's saying. And so that's what she believes. That's what she said. And trust me, we heard that woman say that 3 days in a row. That woman was out there with us until the verdict, and until he got sentenced, she was out there with us, sitting on her walker that she had with the little seat on it. And so that woman was very sincere and what she saw and what she felt. And she's not the only one. It was other people out there that said the same thing that was in the courtroom.
Right. Now, let me ask you this, because someone said that Dominique's name was not on the list, but because he was a spokesperson, he wouldn't have had to sign in for the list, would he? Would he have had to apply to see the video? They would have just let him see it. I would have thought that they would just let him see it.
No, he would have probably saw it with the family, but Dominique, from my understanding, he did put in a FOIA or request to see it. I just know that he did see it, so he may have saw it with the attorneys. He may have saw it somewhere in that moment. I'll let him speak to that part. But he did
Right.
see the footage. You got to know that Mr. Anthony saw it. And so at the end of the day, all these people saw it. Now, the only person I can tell you that did not see it, that says that she did, that actually her name was on the list, was Sarah Jessica Fields.
Right.
Her name was on the list, and I tell you that she did not see it because it says no.
I
I've
have that right
confirmed.
here.
Yeah, and I confirmed with Frisco ISD, she did not see it. And so she claims that she did, but no, she didn't. So that's another
Uh-huh.
person that did not see the footage, along with Tiffany Billions, which is funny that both of them who worked together allegedly, neither one of them saw the full footage. So that's just what that is.
But then came online asking us though they saw it. Now here's my question also. So what do you think about the people that said there was actual footage from the I think they said Fox 4 Dallas. They said when the ambulance was leaving the field, that Hunter and two of his friends said that after Austin punched Karmelo in the face, Karmelo picked up the tool that they had used to put up the tent. Because that's not what anybody else said in the court, but they said that footage was taken down shortly thereafter. And also, let's talk about when he said they threw the backpack. So they testified on the stand constantly. There was different witnesses saying that he had his hand in the backpack the whole time, and like he pulled the knife out of there. But if Austin threw the backpack, and that's what Hunter said, and Jeff Metcalf said it too. So I'm thinking if Jeff Metcalf wasn't there, how did he know that he had to have gotten that from Hunter? So why would Hunter say the backpack was thrown? And then one of the witnesses said Austin told Karmelo, you ain't got nothing in that bag. And so I felt like, okay, well, maybe that's why he took it and threw it. But if he threw it, how are they saying his hand was in there the whole time? Now, do you think there's any truth to that?
Well,
About the backpack being thrown.
according to Jeff Metcalf, because he said that he was there, is what he said. I'm gonna repeat his words. But because he said it from first person point of view, he said that Austin grabbed the bag. Hunter said that he first grabbed the bag, but he said later on Austin grabbed the bag and threw it. All those things are lining up with the people that were there. Now we know what they testified to on the stand and the two people that gave their statements on the actual police report. However, from what we've seen in the evidence, the bag was closed when the officers took it that day and threw it on top of the tarp. It was closed. They opened it up later on to inventory it and took a picture, but the bag was closed because he threw it to his partner and nothing came out. We know from looking at the footage that Karmelo had no bag near him. We saw that if you really closely look at the footage, there's a gray little hoodie part sitting in there, but it's leaned back toward this other black image, and that's where he was being choked. And then Austin picked him up with this football move, they said, and then threw him back, and they started beating him up. Those are the things that we know is fact. We know that that Jose testified to most of the things I'm talking about right now. And then they took a break for 2.5 minutes, took Jose to the chambers. And when they came back, the prosecution asked him 2 questions, and he said it was Karmelo's fault. So we understand that these people have done a lot of things and said a lot of things that were never said in court. And I'm going to tell y'all this. I'll say allegedly. Jeff Metcalf was already there. He stated in one of his interviews with, I think, CBS 11, they were at his house, and the guy started challenging him and saying, hey, people are saying this, that Karmelo this and Karmelo that. And he said, were they there? Were they there? Because they don't know nothing, because I was there. That's what he said. That's what he said. And he said, I know exactly what happened. So that was first person. And he said many of things that was from his first person point of view that he know. He said he knew that this was happening. I know this happened. He didn't say the boys told me. He said, I know. And so I believe Jeff was there because allegedly they got called there earlier. And that's why Megan Metcalf said that she was able to beat the ambulance to the hospital because she works in Grapevine, Texas. That's a long trek for you to make and beat the ambulance there from Grapevine to Plano. She was coming from Frisco and she was heading to Grapevine, got the call because Hunter said that he called his phone and his mom answered and he told her what happened to Austin. And she said she turned around and she went to the hospital and beat them there. Hunter's phone was in her car because he left it there when she came to the middle school to address whatever it was that they had going on with the girl from Emerson. That's the reason why that he was able to call his phone, because he left it in the car and his mama answered because she didn't answer her phone. So these are things that become relevant to their witness statements and what they testify to. And the reason why during the whole trial, Hunter was never there at the trial. He was at home. And even when they wanted him to testify, he was nowhere to be found. But after he was found guilty and sentenced, and they had to give the impact statements, here come Hunter in the car with his friends. And then he goes in there and gives his impact statement, and then they come back outside. They do the little press conference, and they come back outside. But he could not be there, because if he said anything that would be on the stand, this whole case would have went up in fire, because only thing he could do was lie, because they have so much footage of him lying already, back and forth on this case. And so he could not be there. And so that also are some things that's going to go in the favor of Karmelo, because his lawyers never called Hunter to the stand or held him in contempt of not being available for testimony.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is all crazy. Okay, now someone sent me this video. I think this is a video I already showed. Hold on, let me see some real quick. Okay, blessed the chosen. Thank you, beloved. I think I've already shown this video you sent. This is a video of someone going in the trash can. I showed that the other day, beloved, but thank you. Okay, so this really, because of all of the shady things that have been going on, people infiltrating the family, people threatening other people. I mean, this just seems like it is so deep. Like, this is really something that was like a concerted effort by multiple people from the sounds of it.
Yeah, it definitely was.
So, yeah, absolutely. And so now they have this fake information going out too. They were having rumors. Hold on. What I sent you is my email, not big enough. I promise it shows the stabbing. Oh, okay. Let me see here. Let me pull this up. Okay, I'm going to show this video and see what we can see. Hold on. I'm going to share the screen real quick. Said this shows the stabbing. I hope it does.
Hey, y'all get in the building, get in the building, get in the building. Before I show this video, man, I got something to say real quick. Don't think to go off on a couple of these YouTubers, right? I tried to send Ticket TV this video. Nigga too dumb, too stubborn to try to listen to anybody else. They keep showing that same old dumb ass shit. Him, Lakeisha, he's showing the same old dumb ass shit. And the girl, Tony Talk, that's it up. They dumb as hell, man. See, I'm trying to send them this video because their platform is bigger than mine. But I'm finna show y'all the stab and the collapse of Austin Metcalf. Pay attention. This right here is not Austin. This is Austin. This is Mello between here, and Hunter is over here. That's why Hunter did not see the stab, because the stab happened over here. All right? When these boys push Mello this way, they're going to pull him back this way. One of their arms going to slip and hit Austin. Austin is going to walk up here, turn around with his hand on his chest, and he's going to collapse. Now, don't y'all pay attention to none of this. Pay attention to this right here, to him right here, because this is Austin. Watch, you're going to see him go up here. He's going to turn around and fall. Once you see Mello up here, watch Austin. He's going to step up, turn around with his hand on his chest, and he's going to fall. Now, y'all watch this. They're attacking Mello. They'll go to push. They'll go to stab. Now, watch Austin. Austin step up, turn around with his hand on his chest, and he fall. Y'all just see him fall? Y'all just see him fall? Let's watch it again. They'll go to fight. They'll go to push. the pull, the stab. Now watch Austin step up. He's turning around with his hand on his chest. He collapsed. Did y'all just see that? Man, these YouTubers, big platforms, just think they all that and static. They started getting clicks and views off bullshit ass videos, breakdowns. What they break it down is nothing. They keep showing y'all the same thing. Y'all want the truth. This is the truth right here. I believe one of these boys is Eddie. That's right here. Now y'all watch it again. Y'all watch Austin right here again. See, they want y'all to think Austin is the one with that Mello, so that'll give reason Mello to stab him, because they don't want y'all to know that his friend stabbed him by mistake. Now, let's play it again. Don't even pay attention to this. Pay attention to Austin. The push, the pull, the stab. Now watch Austin, y'all. Watch Austin. He step up, he turn around with his hand on his chest, and he falls.
Yeah.
Mello go to running. They go to running too.
Nowhere near Karmelo.
No, nowhere. And that's like I said, he fell down and he hit the girl in the yellow poncho and he fell over another dude. Yeah, and that's the reason why Eddie Parra changed his clothes and took him with him, balled up. And so he again, this lines up with what we said, what I said, and about another 6 people said in the beginning of this thing, way back in June, July, and August, when we were talking about the video. We kept telling people that Austin went to chase Karmelo, but he couldn't. And I kept telling them that he grabbed his chest. You can see it on the video clear as day. And when he came down, like I said, you can see the other hand reaching out. And it was like they were hitting him. That's why I said you can't tell what they were doing, but you could tell that Austin was getting attacked just like Karmelo was getting attacked when he came back down. And when he came back down, I think they mistakenly thought that he was Mello coming back down. And they went and attacked him. And I'm look, allegedly, I'll say allegedly, I was told by some young people that Eddie Parra actually had envy, jealousy, and some other things for Karmelo. And so he was jealous. He was jealous of the relationship he had with the girlfriend, because Eddie is supposed to be the play cousin or whatever the case may be. But he was also feeling some type of way about Karmelo. And so that's a lot of jealousy going on because he's not getting that moment. And so I think that it was deeper. And that's why I tell people this is deeper than just a canopy. You're not sitting where you're supposed to be. Those twins were mad because how dare you stop us from doing what we want to do? And the other guys that were with them, all these black kids that was with them, were envious and jealous of Karmelo. And even the judge, when he sentenced Karmelo, said, "You are not about to go back to your nice house in the gated community." That's what the judge told Karmelo.
The judge
so
said
this
that?
was,
Hold on
yes, he did.
one second, beloved. Blessed the chosen. Thank you so much for sending that video, beloved. I appreciate you. So
Yes.
the judge told him in the courtroom, "You're not about to go back to that nice house."
Yeah, he told him that in the courtroom. And so it's a moment to where everybody was looking at what Andrew Anthony and Kayla Hayes Anthony were able to build for their family. A better life is the reason why they came to Texas. They did that. Right. They were raising their family together. Nice, wholesome family, good people, good kids, good background, all that stuff. These folks were doing what you're supposed to do as the American dream, and everybody around them was jealous and envious of what they had. At the same time, in their face, because we've seen the pictures of Eddie Parra smiling and all in Karmelo's face at the houses and in the bedrooms and all that stuff at the game, sitting on the bench next to him and smiling and talking to him. But all along, you smiling in his face, all along you want to take his place. You know, that song said you backstabbers. And that's what he was doing the whole time. And as the gentleman said, everyone is believing allegedly that Eddie Parra is the one that actually accidentally stabbed Austin. And that's the reason why they are so adamant and protecting, because Hunter is the first aggressor. Hunter started it all. He's the one that went up and actually approached Karmelo first. Then Austin was the one that took over. Remember, Hunter said, "My brother has my back, regardless if I'm right or wrong." Hunter
Right.
said he was the one that started it. And so since he was the one that started it, Austin picked it up. They all began to aggress up on Karmelo. As you see in the video, Karmelo was gone. He wasn't even nowhere near nobody. And that's why I told people that Karmelo really don't know what happened. The coach told Karmelo when he walked him back over there to look at Austin laying down, he said, if he passes away, your life is going to be over. And Karmelo was like, no, he's going to be okay. And then the coach said, no, if he passes, your life is going to be over. The coach is the one that told Karmelo he did something wrong. Karmelo didn't know what happened.
So now that all makes sense as to why Karmelo said, "I'm not alleged, I did it."
Because the
maybe he
coach told him.
something. Right.
The coach told him he did it. Yeah.
Hold on. Scorched Earth said, "Wasn't Melo sitting the whole time? How was he stabbed?" Okay,
Correct.
thank you for your question and your insight, beloved. I appreciate you. So yeah, that's another thing. They did say he was sitting the whole time. Hold on, one more super chat. Okay, Drop the Mic says, "Queen, now I have the video of 2 boys going to the trash can. What's your email?" 2 of them going to the trash can. Okay, it is Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur at gmail.com, beloved. I'm going to put it in the chat. Thank you. And thanks for the contribution to the channel. Also, thanks.
Yeah, you had one that walked up to throw something away. That was the first little boy. I think they identified him already. And then you had one that was on the stands, and you had one that was on the ground, on the track. That both of them emerged to go toward the trash can. One was pointing toward it. The other one that was on the top, he actually picked it up. They both were doing whatever they was doing. The other one on the top reached in it, grabbed whatever he got out of it, put in his pocket, and he walked away fast, then ran away. Yeah, so there was actually 2. There was a total of 3, but there was 2 that was on the bleachers. One that went and put something in it, knocked it over. The other one came and got it out. But there was another young man person, I'll just say that walked up to it as well from on the track, and they were talking to that one, telling them, "Hey, the trash can," pretty much, and then you could see them pick it up and go from there. So that person is correct. There was 2 other people.
Wait a second. You know what's making sense? Something is fishy. Something has to be fishy about Eddie, because he was supposed to be like Austin's best friend. He said that was his brother when he was chasing Karmelo after it happened. Okay, so remember when Jeff had that cookout, that barbecue, and invited all them, but Eddie wasn't there in the picture.
Yeah, it was an all-white cookout, so he wasn't invited.
Right.
You remember, so Eddie is mixed.
Right. Okay, but I find that interesting, because what if Eddie's the one who accidentally did that, and that could be another reason he wasn't invited?
Well, no, Jeff wasn't going to invite him regardless, because it's Jeff. Jeff ain't inviting that boy. He got some of us in him, so he ain't coming. So that's just what that is. Jeff has he has PR meetings for them to mix with us. But in that moment, that was an intimate moment on Jeff's. It was actually on Jeff's Facebook page. He posted it, so it ain't like it's something that somebody else posted. Yeah, he made a video and he took a picture smiling with all of them sitting at the table. And those were witnesses, not just boys. Those were witnesses, people that were at the track meet, and they had this right after. It was in July, I believe, right after this happened, and he was getting their story straight. And as one of the guys said, "I'm gonna do anything for the Maycaps," and he did. He went there and lied on the stand for the Maycaps.
You know, and that's something that needs to come out during the appeals process, that the witnesses who testified were all friends and schoolmates and classmates of Austin's. So, of course, they had a motive. And also, the fact that, if we want to look at it that way, also the defense could have, but we know why they didn't, but they could have made the argument that because of them having like an emotional relationship or bond perhaps with the family, going to the cookout and all of that, that they may have had a biased testimony. You know, that's something that could have been brought up, because that just like to say, if me and you are friends, right, and then I'm called in to testify, you're really, like, some people are just not going to tell on their friends. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's something that Mike Howard also could have pointed out during the trial, but didn't. Scorched Earth says, your thoughts on Jeff showing up at the press conference? Yes. Tell us what you think about that, beloved. And Scorched Earth, thank you for your question and your contribution. I appreciate you. What do you think about that? When he showed up, acting like he was so humble.
Yeah, because I know some of the people that were at the press conference, I could tell you from their testament of what happened that day. Jeff didn't have no moment to pray for nobody. And Jeff was coming there to be a bully, like he always do. He was
Mm-hmm.
told, according to Dominique Alexander, because he actually said it on Nick at Night's live, he was told several times to leave by the security that was there. There was two plainclothes DPD, Dallas police officers that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Police Department made the call to call in uniform officers to remove him. That's why it took so long, because the plainclothes officers could have removed him, but they didn't want it to seem unseemly. So they called people that were on the beat to come remove him. And once they did, they got him up out of there. He was saying that he just wanted to pray and everybody was nice. No, you were being trespassed from the property because you were not supposed to be there. One of the actual, someone actually tipped them off. But I know from Dominique Alexander, so I'll repeat it. He said on the live, he said that he didn't even know Jeff was there. It was actually JD Miles of CBS 11 DFW. A shout out to him because he kept us informed of what was going on in the courtroom during the trial. He actually came to them and said, "Hey, y'all do know that that's the father, Jeff Metcalf of Austin." And they were like, "Huh?" And they was like, "Yeah, that's him." And so that's what alerted them to even know he was there.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
That's
he
so
wasn't
very
supposed to be
strange.
there. Yeah, because it was invite only. It was media invite only. Jeff showed up, and he was showing up to do exactly what he was doing, to intimidate and do all those things. But he wanted to hide behind Christianity, talking about he was there to pray. Boy, nobody wants your prayers. Your prayers don't go no further than them ugly eyebrows you got.
And now, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Hold on. So, okay, so hold on, because somebody just sent me something. Okay, someone just sent me this video. Now, this could be the same one. Um, you all moderators, are y'all watching for the trolls? Because somebody just said you effing N words. Okay. They are
that'll be
so
okay.
bad, honey. Let me just go on and ban them real quick. Okay, now, with that all being said, let me pull up this video. Now, we did see a video of someone going to the trash can, and then later I got one with somebody coming back. Let's go to this one and see what we have here.
Hey guys, I just want to show you that it was two guys that threw something away in this Carmelo Anthony case. One guy, you'll see him right here, he's standing under the tent. Then he kind of mills around while all the commotion is happening. See how he's standing by the trash can? He's going to go out of frame while Carmelo's running down the steps. Then you see the second guy. He throws something. Then there's the
Yeah, we
first
saw
guy
that.
again.
Yeah,
That means two guys during all this commotion that's going on is throwing something away at that trash can.
correct.
Why? What are you throwing away? What
Because the
was that
first
important
guy,
that you had to throw it away where all this commotion is going on?
the first guy threw it away, threw something away. The second guy threw his away and knocked the trash can over. And so then you have the third guy, which I was saying on the platform, that comes later and picks it up and take whatever it is out. And
Yes,
so she's
ma'am.
correct. Yeah, she's correct.
Right.
There was two guys that threw stuff away. The first guy, which actually looks like an older guy when you really pan in, he looks
Uh-huh.
like someone grown. The one that was milling around at first. That person, as soon as that little young guy that they identified threw away whatever he threw away that moved the trash can, you can see that guy out of the frame almost, and he comes and throws something away, but it knocked the can over. And so those are two
Right.
guys that she's talking about. Then the third guy comes later on and picks it up, and there's someone down the bottom looking at him and addressing him about that can as well. He picks it up because that person was kind of saying, "Hey, wait, wait, wait." And then when everybody paid it pass by, he picks it up, get whatever out. That he stands there, wait till they take Carmelo out the frame, and then all of a sudden he takes off again, and he takes off walking slow, walking fast. Then he runs. And so there's four individuals total, but three on the platform, one on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that all being said, Scorch Earth says, can internal affairs get involved? Police botched. Well, here's the thing. I don't trust internal affairs. A lot of times they work for the police, not against them. That's in plenty of cases that I have researched, beloved. I don't think that would do any good. But
Yeah,
thank you
'cause
for your insight and your question and your contribution. I appreciate you. Now, someone sent me this. It says the origin of the watermelon felon. Jeff Metcalf's racist rants will free Carmelo Anthony. The original story of the watermelon felon. I never heard of this. Let's go to it.
yeah.
Moderator, I need you all to watch out for these trolls. Are y'all on the job or not? Because I'm blocking trolls. Okay, I shouldn't have to keep blocking these nefarious trolls. They are so mad, and I love it. Okay, I don't care about a troll being mad, quite frankly. Hold on now. Let me use an overlay because I don't have permission to use this video. Let me see what's going on here. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing. I'm just going to listen to some of it to see what he says about the watermelon.
Jeff Metcalf. Y'all remember when Jeff Metcalf went off? And he went off and, he started calling people, people watermelon felons and all this kind of stuff. I remember when he went ham, right? Look, remember this, Mike, when he did this right here? Let's get off into it real quick.
Drew Anthony, Howard, and you raised one. Kayla, you drunk. What'd you do to that boy to make him nutty? My God, what kind of mother are you? Let me make one up. Y'all can let me make something. Y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy I was trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one straight? Such this little boy I was trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? Such this little boy I was trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? Such this little boy I was trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that?
So we got that established, right? He called Carmelo Anthony watermelon felon, right? Now remember, when he's using this term watermelon felon, right now we're talking about discrepancies within the trial, right? We're talking about redacted statements and edited footage and everything, right? That's what we're talking about. And he's using the term watermelon felon, right? I want y'all to stay with that with this video, right? Edit footages, changing statements, everything. Because what I'm going to show y'all going to be like, yo, listen, bro. This thing gets real goofy, right? But let's first go over here, right? And let's go back to the beginning of the sentencing, right? And then, let's first look at the sentencing. Let's look at all the emotion from the people.
Continuing coverage, our J.D. Miles, Andre Lucia, and our team, Aaron Jones, Marvin Hurst, outside the Collin County Courthouse and also inside. And the sentence just read by the court, 35 years in prison is the sentence for Carmelo Anthony. And the jury rejected the opportunity to consider what was called sudden passion, an opportunity that would have given them a sentencing range anywhere from 2 to 20 years. But again, 35 years now in prison. And as J.D. Miles just reported, 17 and a half will be the mandatory minimum of that 35 before he can be considered for parole.
So y'all, listen, I'm warming y'all up because what I'm about to show y'all gonna blow your mind.
JD, stand by. Andrea Lucia, what are you hearing among the crowd outside as that 35-year prison sentence was just handed down?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to step aside because people are just hearing this right now. I just saw a woman run down the street right here, letting everybody know 35 years, 35 years.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward some of this.
Yeah.
Jeff Metcalf used the term watermelon felon, right? He used the term watermelon felon. And he got the term watermelon felon, right? It came from a cartoon, right? Episode 37 and Kirby Right Back at You, right? Kirby Right Back at You. So when you see an image like this, hold on a second. Hold on, let's wait. Let's let it pop up, right?
Turns out the government tracks a lot of data, and it's scattered all over.
Let's see. Let's get it to pop up. When you see an image like this, right? The watermelon inside this pink person's mouth, right? So what does that mean? What does it mean, George? Come on with all the shenanigans. Stop playing with us. Watermelon Felon. I want y'all to listen to me very closely. Watermelon Felon is the 35th episode of the animated series Kirby Right Back at You. In it, King Didi frames Kirby for a crime to get him deported, staging a false trial complete with a rigged jury to brand the hero as a wanted felon, right? So look, so I want y'all to.
So it's the framing of someone.
Yes, it is.
Keep looking, right? So let me go over here. Let's read the other part, right? Let's read this part. I want you guys to pay attention. Remember what he said, watermelon felon, right? Okay, fair enough, right? Fair enough. Watermelon Felon. Watermelon Felon is the 35th episode of Kirby Right Back at You. In this story, King Didi frames Kirby for theft by doctoring video footage of Kirby stealing from a local fruit stand. The gullible townspeople turn against Kirby, but Didi's plan backfired when the town's mob corners them instead, right? The setup. King Didi is obsessed with catching the legendary Star Warrior Kirby committing a crime to ruin his reputation. Didi uses his special camera to film the residents of Dreamland, constantly looking for compromising footage. The frame job. Didi and Escargon find a way to hollow out giant watermelons and place time bombs inside them to trick Kirby, to frame Kirby for being a thief. Didi alters his video footage to make it appear as though Kirby is pillaging a local fruit stand, right? The villagers watch the footage, believe the doctored version broadcast, and violently turn against Kirby. Uh-oh.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, that is crazy. Thank you for sending me that, beloved. I appreciate you. Wow, I never heard of that at all.
Yeah. I used to watch that show back in the day with my kids, so I know. And that's true. It was an episode, and people usually tell you the truth in your face when they lying to you and they doing stuff like that. And so he just basically told you in your face that, hey, we got away with our setup, so we just gonna call you what it is that we did. And that's the caucasity of Jeff Metcalf, Megan Metcalf, Hunter Metcalf, Sarah Fields, all these people. That's the caucasity of them to do this to Karmelo and then blatantly laugh in your face and say, aha. But what I want them to do, I really want them to go ahead and sue Karmelo for libel. Because if they do, they're going to have to be deposed, and that's when all the truth going to come out.
Yeah, because discovery. Hold on,
Yes.
Let me just thank Robin. Robin, thank you, beloved, for becoming a member to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Yeah, I don't think they want to do that, but I heard people were encouraging them to do it so that they could take any monies that they collected or whatever, so they could pay for the appeals and all that.
Yeah, and if you really pay attention, usually that's the first thing people do. We saw it in OJ trial. The first thing the Browns did, took them to court. And they well, not the Browns, but the other dude with that crazy mustache, Goldman. That's the first thing he did was go ahead and sue for libel. They had that paperwork ready when they said not guilty. That man was ready, and I think in the next week he sued them people. So at the end of the day, where's Jeff Metcalf and them at? Because they know if they do any kind of suing, they know good and well it's over with.
Right, because they won't be able to hide and suppress evidence then. But now
No,
let
they
me
won't.
say this also. Jeff Metcalf has a whole lot of nerve, in my opinion, to be going around doing these press runs after that rant that he went on. And what's amazing is these devils, they don't say anything about that. They don't want to talk about that. And I'm gonna tell you how they excuse it. They say things like, oh, he's grieving. First of all, if he was so busy grieving, he wouldn't be going around doing press runs. That's what he wouldn't be doing. He would have taken it that the sentence and the verdict is his justice. Because what more do you want? But see, I feel like he's now trying to do damage control and to still try and control the narrative, because once the attorneys came out, the new attorneys for the appeal, as soon as they were announced, he's on Fox the next day.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
and
but
I don't.
his narrative.
I didn't see too much grieving because we got to remember that Hunter, he started driving Austin's truck. We seen Hunter take Austin's girlfriend to the prom. We seen them
Yeah.
buy Austin a new truck. Jeff got a new truck. Megan got a new house with her little boyfriend. She didn't start.
I
She started getting new clothes. She didn't look like Little House on the Prairie no more. So all these things they've done with the money that they got from those GoFundmes, and no one talked about it. They've been coming up. They've been living good, smiling all over the place, living a life of luxury off of the
right.
insurance money that they had. Nobody talk about that either because they had insurance policies on Austin. They collected on that. They collected on the GoFundMe money, and he's still raising money right now, talking about to fight the appeal process. What?
You can't fight an appeals process. He sounds ridiculous.
We all know
You can
that,
try.
but the people who don't that operate on one brain cell, they don't understand that, and those are the people that's usually supporting them. Yeah, one brain cell. They don't have that many. They just got one. So
Clearly grifting. You know, and
yeah,
I also think that they were jealous of Karmelo because Karmelo had I think he drove a Lexus because his dad worked at the car dealership. He was like the finance manager, had a good job. They said he had to leave the job because people were coming up there harassing him. And I heard one of
correct.
the people doing so was allegedly Jake Lang, the one who threatened Karmelo outside of the court. And then Judge
Well,
Gross reduced his bond.
you had a group of women that were from Hope Fellowship Church out in Frisco, Texas. I'll say allegedly, and they were all friends of Jeff Metcalf, who goes to the same church, and Sarah Fields, who actually bragged about it on her Facebook page after the fact. But what they did is they would go up to his dealership and they would actually go up there, test drive cars. They all had good credit, so they would get approved. And then when they get ready to go talk to the finance manager, who was Andrew Anthony, because he was the finance manager over the dealership, they would say, "Oh, never mind, we don't want the car no more because the father of the person who unalived Austin Metcalf works here, Andrew Anthony," and they would leave. And they did that about 20 or 30 times until
That's enough to
they
get you
stopped.
fired.
Yeah, they stopped, and then they went and had dinner and talked about it. And so Andrew Anthony just basically resigned. He took leave first, and because he didn't want that drama at work, and then he ultimately had to resign.
That's a darn shame. So just trying to
Yeah,
ruin them. At the end of the day, I
yeah.
hope every last one of these dirty devils get their karma. So listen,
But
I'm
here's
going to
here.
wrap up.
Uh
Go ahead, beloved. I'm listening.
huh. Just to speak on that same moment, there was a lady right after that on TikTok. She had actually got her company to want to hire Mr. Anthony, doing the same work but working from home, making the same money. She brought that to Tiffany Billion in the Zoom. And Tiffany Billion said, "Oh yeah, I'll take it to him." And she blocked that woman and never gave it to Andrew Anthony. And this was early on. This was like in the month of June or July of last year. And so, yeah, people were working, trying to help. You have people trying to raise money, but Tiffany Billions blocked those people. And that woman, I'm saying it because she actually spoke on it just probably a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago on TikTok herself. And so I'm mentioning it because of that. But yeah, you had people like Sarah Fields, you had Tiffany, you had all these people blocking this family and causing hardship so they can be in a place to where they can manipulate them because they needed help. And that's what this was all about.
Wow. Matchless above says it's not just a framing of somebody, it's what they use to frame Anthony. Remember, as I said, he was used as a target to get that family. They targeted Karmelo. I absolutely
Correct.
believe this.
Correct.
Can you imagine being at a job and you have that sort of title? Okay, a very important title because you have to go through
Mhm.
the finance manager to get approved and all of that stuff. And then for them to sit there and say, 30 times, 20 to 30 times, that's enough for the dealership to be like, like it
Yeah.
looks like they're losing money, but really they weren't losing money because these people were never going to buy anything in the first place.
Correct. And it
That
was
is
just
so
a
sad.
look. It was just a look of it, and it made it uncomfortable. And he did the right thing, which
Right.
was, take leave of absence, go try to figure this out. But when people were trying to help, you had these evil people that was faking on both sides and working together all alone to isolate this family, make them get into a place to where they just needed them, and they used this family for clout, for money, for all those things, and set up Carmelo to ultimately meet the goal of Jeff Metcalf and them, and that was to put him in the position where he's at right now.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So Solstice says, salute Queen. Just anticipate made a great observation. Episode 35, and Carmelo got 35 years. That was
Correct.
the 35th episode of that. Isn't that crazy? But you know
That's
what's
correct.
also crazy? I think they gave that number on by design because to me it was symbolic because he would have to serve like 17 and a half years before he could get out
Yes.
on parole. And Austin was 17. And
And a
that's how
half.
they do. Yes.
He was
Right.
17 and a half. Yeah, he was 17 and a
That's
half.
so
That's
true.
correct. Yeah.
So, Solstice, thank you for that information, beloved, and for your contribution. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. That is all so crazy. And it's like no matter how they hide the truth, it's still coming out. And even though they released grainy footage that clearly was clips and not the whole thing, we are still finding out more information. And
Yeah.
what we saw in the video matches with you and other people, because there were some people, like 3 or 4 of them on the news.
Correct.
And it's also the elderly white lady.
Correct.
Everything matches what you all said that you saw.
Correct.
Even though it's
Correct.
not even the whole footage, you know, so they're trying to hide it, but the truth is still spilling out. And this is why the devils are so mad, why these trolls come in here being racist, calling us monkeys and stuff, and somebody was calling us F and N words. They are so mad. Let me tell y'all something. Laugh when they say it, because we already know what it stands for. Negus, niggas, okay?
Correct.
Emperor,
Royalty.
okay?
Correct.
So they don't even
Yes.
know. Like, they're doing us a favor. Yeah, call us who we are, bitches.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So listen, I'm gonna wrap up because we're almost at 2 hours in. I know you have other things to do, beloved. I appreciate you, and I'm glad everything went well in court today.
Most definitely.
I appreciate you. Now I'm gonna have you back on here at some point, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Just let me know.
Yes, I certainly will. So, we're gonna have that panel discussion tomorrow. I mean, you can feel free to come if you want to, but we're gonna have the
Okay.
panel discussion. I'm having Secret Service fam on here and a few other of my friends that have been talking about the story, and we just
Okay.
want to see like everybody's point of view. But you know, the thing that bothers me, I see a few Black people, and here's the thing: I want to just say for the record to give clarity. Some Black people don't agree with our talking points, or some of us who are for pro Carmelo. Some of them feel like Carmelo should have fought, and that's their prerogative and that's their opinion. I don't care really when people disagree. But here's the thing that upsets me about some of them. They'll say things like, see, they speak out of turn, in my opinion, because they don't even know the facts of the case. They don't know about the evidence that was covered up. They don't know about the lies that were told. They didn't even follow the trial, so they don't know that the witnesses told different stories during testimony than they initially gave in statements to the detectives. They don't know that. So when they're talking and agreeing with the other side, they're doing so based upon the premise that they have listened to news outlets like Fox News, for example. And we know that the media, those of us who have common sense and who've been paying attention to the case from day one, because I have been reporting on this since it first happened in 2025. But they don't know all of these things. So they're going about listening to the narrative that's been put out there. That's all they have to go on. And so that's where they're getting their perspective from. They're too foolish and ignorant to understand that people like me and others, like Nick at Night, Queen Sheba Darling, people who were actually there in
Yes.
the courtroom, that we have a different view, and other people like myself have studied and researched, and we've been enthralled in the case, and they have not, because they don't do research. And so they sit there and talk about us and say, oh, I guess if you don't go along and you're not for the Black person, if you're not on Carmelo's side, you have to be a raccoon. No, you don't have to be a raccoon because you're not on his side. You are a raccoon, beloveds, okay, if you're watching, and I know they are, because they were saying my talking points, one of them was, you are a raccoon because you don't bother to go and do the research yourself and find out the facts for yourself. You're still listening to massa. And throughout history in this country, massa has never told us the truth. That's why you're raccoons, beloved. And if you don't like what the Queen said, I feel free to come on the show, because one of them said, oh, these people, they won't let you come on their shows if you disagree with them, and if you do, they'll try to overtalk you. Well, guess what, beloved? I heard you when you said it. You can feel free to come on here, and I'm not gonna call your name, but you can feel free to come on here, and I promise I won't overtalk you. You can say whatever you want to say, and matter of fact, I'll let you have the floor, and when you're done, then I'll do my rebuttal. Okay, so I just wanted to say that because we have a lot of obtuse Negroes who do not even know what they're talking about and want to try to go in on us.
Yes.
Okay, so now with that all being said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the broadcast. Now, before you leave, beloved, hold on, let me get this last super chat. Scorched Earth said, in the face of a corrupt system, can't expect justice from an evil system that still sees us as 3/5 of a man. God will avenge us all. Keep praying, y'all. Absolutely, beloved. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for those words and also for your contribution. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, before we close out, Dwayne, do you have any closing words you would like to say or anything else you want to talk about before we head out, beloved?
Most definitely. I just want to thank you, Queen, for having me today. I want to thank your audience for listening today. And I want to just say peace and blessings to everyone. And just know we have to stand for each other, because if we don't stand for each other, then we'll fall for anything. And we've seen that too many times. And so this is the time that we start moving different. This is the time that we expect this foolishness to go on. But we have enough intelligence, enough power, and enough strength to overturn whatever it is that the enemy thought that he did it for good, for evil. We can turn it around for our good. We just have to fight for it. And that's what we're doing now. And we're going to fight for each other. I seen a family today in the same court I was in waiting for a verdict. And I got their information because they saw me on Smash the Topic. And so we exchanged information so we can fight for him, just in case they go the wrong way in that court trial. They were actually deadlocked at the time when I left. So I'm going to check with that family and see what they were doing. And if they did come back and convict him, we're going to fight and get that reversed and get that thing done. This system is set up right now for us to fail. Let's just be honest. And as he just said, they want us in the system. However, don't mean we have to stay. You know, their Bible tells you all over and over that Paul was in jail, him and Silas, and they praised their way up out of it. So if they can praise their way up out of it, and the scriptures that they gave you and told you to read, then you can work your way and use your intellect and your know-how, and we can get ourselves about that moment. And that's what we're going to see happen for Karmelo, and that's what we're going to see happen for everyone else. So if you need any help in your situation, you hit me up, you hit the Queen up. You can reach me out at the Kingdom at the Kingdom Worldwide at gmail.com. And you can also reach me on any of my social media at Dwayne Turnsilk. And, you know, we'll be there to help out and lead you in the right direction to get someone else to help you out if need be. But we have to stand up for each other.
That's right. Absolutely. Beautifully said, beloved. I appreciate you. Listen, loyal royals, I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. Tune in at 1:00 because we're going to be having a very candid panel discussion that you don't want to miss. Until then, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got